Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Kids Ocean Adventures. Today we are at one of my favorite snorkeling spots in Southern California. And before we jump in and see everything there is to see, I thought we'd get ready together. So first things first, we need to get gear, but before that, sunscreen. The other tip I have is we check the tide. It is a medium tide going down, which this spot likes. And what I find is that it makes the diving very nice and calm, which is perfect. All right, so gear time. All I'm using today is a 3-2 wetsuit and a weight belt, booties, and I have my GoPro for filming. But that's about it. Hey Jack, come here. Last most important thing that I want to go over before we jump in is the fact that you need a buddy whenever you're going into the ocean. So whether that's someone sitting on the surface, like Jack's dada, or someone that's going in the water with you, like me to this guy. One of the best things you can do when you're learning to snorkel is to relax, number one. Number two, obviously, actually number one, have your buddy. Number two, relax. Number three, you're gonna feel very cold water in your face, and that's normal, right? And number four, have fun. And if you're not having fun, then we can get out and we'll try it again a different time. All right, what do you think?
Good.
How do you feel?
Good.
Okay, cool. Jack, what do you say to all the other kids that want to snorkel like you? What do you say to those kids? Take the snorkel out and tell them.
You can when you get bigger.
You can when you get bigger. Okay. It's very cold. I think the water is in the high 50s or low 60s, which for a Southern Californian is pretty cold.
Wait, you saw a fish? No way. Check it out. Look it.
What's up here? It's really cold.
Did you see any? No way. You saw a fish. Wait, I want you to point with your finger when you see them, okay? Go ahead. That's so cool.
Okay, I had to revamp my gear and put a hood on because it is pretty darn cold. So while Scotty and Scuba Jack were out exploring, I got my hood on. Let's go check out what they're seeing. Also, I think it's just worth mentioning that there are good snorkel sets, which we plan on getting Jack for the next snorkel session. But for now, we just rigged up his pool goggles and an adult snorkel because he wanted to get in so badly and we didn't want to discourage his ocean adventure, but this is definitely not the best setup. So while they're off on their own adventure, I'm going to go on my own personal adventure and check out more of the seagrass beds and also try to find some beautiful kelp forests to show you guys. And I am so in love with seagrass. I think it's the most beautiful thing, and I could float here forever staring at it because it's like this beautiful dance underwater. I really tried to get you guys up and personal so you could really feel the way I do about seagrass, but didn't really pan out. So immediately we see some zebra perch swimming by. I just love their stripes and light yellow tails. And as we keep swimming, we just see some beautiful rock structures. And if you really look to your left, you'll see some black perch hiding under that kelp. There they go. They also have really, really pretty stripes. When the sun hits their skin, you can see it. And the Garibaldi
This is California's state fish, and boy, do I love them. They've got some big personalities and actually can be known for being pretty territorial and have charged people if you get too close to their nest. There's a little opali. It's pretty busy down in this cave.
My mouth keeps fogging up, so one of my techniques, you could spit in it, or you grab a teeny bit of kelp and you could rub it in your mouth, and I find that works really well in clearing it out.
All right, as we continue on our dive, we see more zebra perch, which you can tell by their stripes, and opali, the little guys right ahead of me with the little white dots on their back. And what I found out about these fish after doing a little research is that these are juvenile. Juvenile opali and perch like to live in more shallow water, and as they mature, they will venture off to deeper, more cold water. And the shallow water keeps them protected from a lot of predators. And I don't blame them for living here. It's beautiful here. I want to live here. Say hi to the little surf perch. Okay, so we are heading into the kelp forest. Now, some people might think kelp is slimy and unappealing, but it's pretty important to know that you probably interact more with kelp than you know. So kelp is what we call, well, I guess what they derive from kelp is what they call an emulsifier, which means it can be used as a tool to mix two different things. So kelp is harvested and used in many products like shampoo, toothpaste, lots of different foods, salad dressings, puddings, some dairy products, and even ice cream. So before you think about turning your back on kelp, just know that it does hold a special place in your heart unless you don't like ice cream and unless you don't brush your teeth. Anywho, moving along, I actually feel like I am swimming through an aquarium today because of how crystal clear this water is. We have such good visibility at this spot today. I'm super excited seeing this little school of fish right ahead of me. I actually didn't know what these were, and after lots of research, I found out that these little beautiful fish are called California Salema. I believe that's how you say it. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. I had to search high and low, and I believe that's what this fish is called, and these are most likely juvenile if it is Salema. I love how these little guys just allow me to hang out with them. They don't even seem fazed that I'm right there. So then we cross this other school of fish, and if I'm not mistaken, these little bad boys are called top smelt. And these guys were also hard for me to identify because at first I thought they were grunion. They actually look very, very similar. And we do have grunion runs in San Pedro. Again, I'm just cruising with them. And they are generally, I mean, I'm kind of chasing them, but they're generally pretty cool about me just hanging out with their squad. You know, I've been diving all over the world, and some people may think the tropics are the most beautiful places to dive, but I gotta say, California takes the cake. Look at this. You do not see landscapes like this in most tropical places. It is just so rich and vibrant and full of life. See you later, little top smelt. All right, we are back in the kelp forests, and honestly, it feels like you're flying when you're swimming through these. Here's another little Garibaldi. And unlike the fish that we just saw, Garibaldi tend to like to stick to themselves. They don't swim in giant schools of fish. Oh, and there's a juvenile Garibaldi and a spiny California lobster. Very nice. Juvenile means baby. So you can tell that that Garibaldi behind the front Garibaldi was a juvenile because he had really, really pretty bright blue dots all over him. It almost looks like he's lit up. It's so vibrant and beautiful. And then as they get bigger, the dots fade away. So apparently, spiny Californian lobster makes up 90% of the lobster that people like to eat. And I can attest that they are delicious. But this guy, he's just hanging in his little cave, and I have no intention of snatching him, especially because we are in a nice preserve, which is why there's so many fish. Do you guys see why I say that I feel like I'm flying? It seriously feels like I am soaring in this beautiful forest, just looking down at so much gorgeous life. And here we are at kind of the edge of this reef. Right now I just want to have a little fun because you have to swim so carefully through all the kelp just not to get tangled that it kind of is nice to have some nice big blue fresh water to swim through. This water is probably only 35 feet max, but it is just so fun to swim in. And when I decided here to just stick my GoPro kind of behind this kelp, and I think I should do this more because I like how that little fish swims by and you could see my fins. This is usually what I do if I'm snorkeling by myself, so I can get a few shots of myself swimming. And cue in my Zoolander moment, merman. Moisture is, in fact, the essence of wetness. Okay, I'm diving down and I actually spot something pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see it. You'll see it in a sec. All right, right there, a little kelp bass. Here's another little spiny guy, spiny lobby. So right now I'm just able to non-discreetly hang out with these little kelp perch or surf perch. Oh, and we're lucky enough to see a senorita wrasse swim right by. Here I happen upon a Norris's top snail, and I think these guys are really pretty because they have this gorgeous, bright orange, colorful body. Fun little fact about the Norris's top snail is that these little sea snails move down kelp during the day and back up the kelp at night, and they're eating and cleaning the kelp with their tongues, also called a radula. Let's say that a few times. Radula, radula, radula. Okay guys, as I end our beautiful ocean adventure, I see this fish deep in the kelp, and I seriously can't identify it, and I know I've seen it before, and I've seen it at the Long Beach Aquarium, so please help me out. Tell me what this fish is. Do you see him? Right there. We make eye contact and he darts. He's pretty big. That is about it for our snorkel tour, you guys. I hope you enjoyed cruising the kelp beds with me, watching the seagrass dance, and remember, you can do this as well. You just need to jump in the ocean. Get your mom and dad to get you some snorkel gear. You can even pretend to go snorkel. My son Jack loves to pretend to snorkel and scuba dive all the time. And of course, if you see trash, the best thing you can do is just pick it up and throw it in the trash can, which is what I'm gonna do. And honestly, I was pretty happy that this was the only piece of trash that I saw on my snorkel today.
I'm ending my snorkel. My lips, I can barely move because I'm so cold. So I hope this makes sense, but thanks for joining me on such a fun adventure. We saw so much cool stuff out there, and hope you guys join me for my next adventure. Bye!